Hello, I'm Alexa. Welcome back to my channel. Now, today I am super excited to introduce to you an old classmate of mine and a good friend, Matthew Liu. Alright, Matthew Liu is a design systems designer at DoorDash, which is an on-demand logistics platform. He helps build tools, systems, and processes to help designers and engineers produce high-quality work at scale. He's a native San Franciscan that studied graphic design at CCA and previously worked at Eventbrite, Medium.com, and Game Time. Now, Matt, I'm super excited to have you here on my YouTube channel because, like it says in your intro, you studied graphic design at CCA, I studied graphic design at CCA, and that's how I ended up here, at California College of the Arts. It's an art and design school here in San Francisco. And you guys, it was life-changing. Like, we are kind of the same. And so, to kick things off, I'd love to just hear why did you decide to study graphic design, and how did you end up at CCA?
I studied graphic design because I was actually interested in the 2D space. I did architecture internships in high school, and I actually didn't like how much work that had to be put into it just to make one little thing. And graphic design provided that instant gratification, and I really liked making t-shirts in high school, and I entered into all these different t-shirt contests, but then I ended up making my own t-shirt campaigns, and we raised a lot of money from that. And so with that, people knew me as the t-shirt designer or the poster designer at school, similar to you.
Yeah. We were talking about this offline a little bit, but like, I designed a lot of t-shirts in high school for like all the sports teams I was on, and like for my senior class, like we made t-shirts for that too, and I became that person. I was actually a horrible business person at the time. I remember one time like I didn't do the math right, like the calculations right, and my mom had to like help me out with like $20 to like pay for everything. Yeah, I'm like a lot better now. But yeah, like it's just, that's so interesting, and I do find that relatable. I don't know if I thought of myself as a designer back then, but I was definitely doing design work. And I had that interest in high school, which is cool. And then how did you end up choosing CCA?
I chose CCA because I did apply to other schools, but I knew that if I wanted to be in the local industry that was here, CCA would provide that community.
In what way do you feel like graphic design helped prepare you for product design?
Graphic design prepared me to be a visual thinker, but to also learn how to make a process, understanding that your first design isn't always going to be the best design. And you're probably going to have to make 100 variations of something that you think is the obvious answer, when really other people have a million different opinions about your work. And you also have to learn that you can't take things personally when people critique your work. And I was someone who's always very defensive, and so I had to learn through that process, and that still exists today. And I think even for you as a designer, people have a lot of opinions, and you need to sort of learn how to make your design work shine through, and learn how to present it in a way that convinces people.
I figured out that I wanted to get into UX design while I was a graphic design student pretty early on when I was at CCA, but I still feel like you and a lot of other of our classmates were still really more interested in the more traditional graphic design space. But then you decided to switch. So like, I don't know, what happened? What changed?
It was interesting because I didn't really like making digital experiences until my senior year of school, where I did a whole website for my thesis project. And because of that, I really wanted to sort of work in a space that was more everlasting versus ephemeral print. And yes, print can contain mementos. I wanted to work on something that was going to be more useful for a larger, wider audience beyond just a poster.
What advice would you give graphic design students who are interested in transitioning into product design?
I would say to take one of your existing projects and to find, is there a way you can make a digital project that would complement what you worked on? So if it was a branding project, can you show a branded website using the same elements of your color, your typography, your language, your images, and show a process of how someone might go through that flow.
Just to go off of that, I mean, really, like, there's a way that you can take a lot of the project prompts of all of your classes and make them into, like, put them in the digital space. That's basically what I did with all of the projects in my last year at CCA, which was great. My teachers were like totally cool with me doing this, which was great because I wanted to work in the digital space. So I don't know, like, you're at a really cool time where you were given a lot of prompts with like really specific constraints to problems. So it's like you reuse that, but think through how it could be put into the digital, or how it could be just experiential in general, and think through what that process is like for the like across multiple touch points.
To add to that, I think if you show that you do good work and you show that you're committed to what you love doing, other people notice it. And for example, I was working at CCA as their in-house graphic designer, and one of the persons that I did work with, she ended up leaving CCA to work at this company called Medium. 2 years later, she hit me up saying, hey, you know, we're looking for an intern. Would you be interested in interviewing with us? And so after that experience, I had an interview with them. I really liked the team, and there was actually some other CCA alumni that was on that team too.
Cool. Yeah, it's just like a nod at, like, it's ultimately like who you know. Put yourself out there, meet people, keep, like, if you've worked with anyone in the past, like, try to keep that connection. You never know when people pop up in your lives again. Like, regardless of whether you stick with traditional graphic design or maybe switch to become a product designer in the UX space, that, like, no matter what, digital is going to be a touch point in the design process. And so it's still likely you're going to work on some sort of like marketing website or some sort of digital aspect to the full spectrum of all the design deliverables. And so, like, to anyone who's a graphic design student now, I think that's just something important to think about. And I think that also does make the transition easier from graphic design to product design full time, if you think about it that way, and you focus on what that aspect of your projects are during your time in school. I mean, like, Matt was seriously like star student. Like, I always looked up to your work. It was like so fantastic, and still to this day. But I think it's so cool that you were able to translate your skills into this other space too, and like bring all of that greatness to digital. So let's transition. What is DoorDash, and what do you do here?
DoorDash is a logistics platform, and we help Dashers connect with restaurants and connect with merchants to deliver food and to also transport anything that they might need, including groceries.
Cool. And what is your role here?
My role is a design systems designer on the design infrastructure team, also known as like a design systems team. Okay,
cool. And what's like the makeup of your team?
The makeup of our team is one design systems designer, me, another design technologist, someone who codes out all the things that I work on the visual side. And then we have 5 product designers that work on the different verticals that we have, including the Dasher app, the merchant tablet apps, as well as some web and mobile consumer apps.
All right, let's go check out DoorDash.
Let's go.
I think it's good it's focused on you. Basically, we're gonna just go and explore DoorDash. So, Matt, take us away. So, how long have you been in this office?
I started here in October, so it's been about 4 months so far.
4 months?
Yeah.
Cool. Try again.
So the cool thing about these conference rooms is that they all have a story that's named after them. And so if you come in here, on the back, it tells a story. So this is a little help. DoorDash is very important to me. It serves an important role in my life in how I take care of myself when I don't have the ability to do so.
Oh.
So this is our main kitchen area.
Whoa, what's this?
So this is our the DoorDash experience, and we just show what the customer, Dasher, partner, helper, and our bot do in real time.
So is this where you sit for lunch?
Sometimes.
We are here in your cafeteria. They just serve dinner?
Yeah, they have dinner here.
Okay, we're gonna have to, we'll go eat something.
Got you.
There you are. But in the meantime.
Graphic design doesn't prepare you for the business part of product design. In product design, you learn how to figure out your conversion rate. You need to learn how to A/B test your design. You need to understand who your target audience is. You need to. Sorry.
But aren't those things of graphic design too, technically?
Yes, but this is on a more. This is on a faster scale. Tech moves so fast that
that's true.
Now you work with a PM. And I didn't know what a PM was. I thought, is this a product manager or a product manager?
Oh, that's a whole other conversation. Project, we have project manager, product manager, and program manager.
Jesus.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you worked with a product manager? Like, what was that like?
So at my previous company at Game Time, I was working with this guy who was sort of like, helping me figure out what projects to work on. But then I didn't realize he was actually the VP of product. And so I was working with one of the highest people on the board at the company. Yeah. And we're just churning out these designs like left and right, and he would push me to do like these crazy things. But then I realized, wait, he was a VP of product, not a product manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a PM.
But so Game Time's like a fairly small company, right? So like I think when you work at a startup, there tends to be like people take on a lot of different responsibilities, or a lot more responsibilities. And I think the bigger the company gets, the more specific your job can tend to be. Yeah. And so it's not that one is better than the other. It's just kind of whatever you're interested in. But like, when did you discover he was the VP of product?
Because I was so confused with the titles that people were given, and considering that our team was so small, he really wanted to work with me. So maybe he was just really happy he finally had a designer that would actually lend him time.
Yeah, that is something that I wish I would have learned a little bit more in design school too. And perhaps this is because we were in like a traditional graphic design program, but you don't work with product managers or engineers in school. So like that, even just like the business constraints around our projects like seem to be non-existent. And so it's really important to do internships and do real world work as much as you can while you're in school, because that will help prepare you to get that job once you've graduated, because then you're working with non-designers. Like when you're just in design school, it's great and you're surrounded by a lot of other designers, which is important, but you all sort of like have a similar experience. And so you want to make sure you like get out there, see what everyone else kind of does, so you don't start working at a company and not realize. I'm just kidding. So for lunch, does DoorDash order DoorDash?
So
delivery
DoorDash
service? How does that work?
So DoorDash has a business called DoorDash for Business, which is catering. And we actually use that platform as our way to order food for the entire company here in San Francisco. And so, yes, we get all these different local restaurants that get delivered to us through large catering orders.
That's awesome. I like that. Let's go check out the dinner. Oh my god. Look what I just found. Go for the 3. Got fry in my throat. It's hard. Did you get that one?
Yeah.
Just how to get the touch.
Get the rhythm.
Yes.
So how does product design relate to your basketball?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons. That's a whole other video than that.